Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Gamersgrove podcast, episode 27. Today is August 27th, 2018. We're your hosts, Will and Brady.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Also will not be joining us this week. He is tied up with school, and we just kind of had a weird week pan out for us anyway, so this is going to be kind of not really a half episode, but not really a full episode either. We're gonna run through the news and see where we land. There wasn't really a whole lot that happened this week. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. We're a gaming news podcast. We cover anything that has happened within the week. We cover game releases, gameplay trailers, industry-related news, anything that we find interesting, really. So if any of that sounds like your jam, welcome, you're in the right place. But before we get into any of that, we're going to be talking about games that we played this week. So Brady, what have you been playing?
This week, I've been playing some City Skylines. City Skylines, probably the best, city management / city building game out there. Probably
Definitely.
Recent 5 years or since whenever it came out. It just does what it does. It does that really well. It's super in depth. There's lots of content for it. The modding community is super active. But yeah, it's a nice management game. I haven't played in a while, so I'm kind of just starting small and going from
Reteaching yourself.
Yeah, kind of. So there's a lot of I used a lot of mods before, and now a lot of them don't work. So kind of just starting from scratch and going from there.
Do the mods not work? Are the devs updating the game still?
Devs
they're not working.
No, City Skylines being updated, but the mods aren't being updated as much. But I haven't, I said, I haven't played in a long time, so that's probably reason why. Some of them said I don't want to update this mod anymore. Go subscribe to this one or something. So I'm sure there's something for whatever I need done. There's a mod out there. It's have to matter of going and finding it.
Right.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Slow week.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool though that the devs even still are updating the game. That's always cool to see.
Yeah, honestly though, until another game comes out, they're literally the best city management game right now. So if anyone wants to, one up them, yeah, SimCity's bad. So,
real bad. Oh well, all right. This week I played some more of Enter the Gungeon, and I finally, now that I've sunk in about 20 or so hours, I feel like the game is really starting to open up to me. Because I've mentioned it in previous episodes where I've been playing it. The game is very hard.
Yeah.
Almost unforgivingly hard. Yeah. But so there's a definite barrier, a good maybe I would say 5 or 6 hour barrier of you just struggling and figuring out how to play. And once you get past that barrier, the game really starts to open up as you learn enemies, moves and bosses moves. And, with each run, you kind of unlock new weapons and stuff that you can potentially find for future runs. So with each subsequent run of the dungeon, you get more weapons, more items, just to better further your chances of not dying horribly. So because of all that, I'm kind of in this spot where, I have a lot of items unlocked. I understand a lot of the bosses. So I feel like I can really actually play the game now. And it's really, really fun. I got a bunch of my coworkers into it. So now every day on our breaks, we all play and discuss different items we got and, what we think is good and bad. Yeah, it's super fun. I've been having a real good time with it. I also played a little bit of Yakuza 0. Still chunking away at that when I can. That one's more of my day off Sunday type of game.
Yeah.
But another one that's also super long cutscenes. But that's another one that the game has really started to open up to me as well, because I just unlocked this thing in it that's like it's like a real estate mode, I guess. It was weirdly enough, the whole game is just about real estate deals. Like,
really?
Yeah, it's just like the Yakuza trying to like buy this plot of land, and this other company trying to buy this plot of land, and you trying to buy the land. And so I unlocked this real estate mode that lets me buy stores like within the little downtown area that you play in. And it's really fun. I don't know what it is. Like I'm like you in a way. I'm a sucker for management type games.
Yeah.
And so just the ability to, like, I have all these shops and like I can manage, like, you know, I can assign a person to be their security and their manager and all this stuff. Like I eat that stuff up. So I've been having a lot of fun with that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really neat. And now, like, you know, and it makes you so much money because, like, really before this, the only way to make money was just like fighting guys. And so then that was like, okay, it gives you a little bit. But now I'm making like just hundreds of millions, like constantly. It's like more than I can deal with.
Sounds
it's
like
great.
A good deal.
Yeah.
Is it like mafia style? Like you like collect fees from them, or is it you actually run them?
It's I guess like sort of mafia-ish, but the whole thing is that like your guy is the you know, he's trying to be a legitimate guy, you know, like he just got kicked out of the Yakuza, so he's like going clean.
He got kicked out of it. Oh, I see.
Yeah. So like you're legitimate, but like there are still people that will like come and hustle your shops and you have to go beat them up and like, you know, protect the stores.
Yeah.
So in a way, like you're still offering protection for them in kind of a classic mafiosa kind of way.
That's neat.
Yeah, it's real fun. But all right, let's jump on over into the news. First thing on our list isn't technically video game related, but I think worth messaging.
Yeah, industry.
Mentioning, sorry. Yeah, industry. Twitch Prime is no longer offering an ad-free service to go with the Twitch Prime program. This is kind of a sudden and unexpected development. Most people would, I guess to explain it before anything, Twitch Prime is... if you have Amazon Prime and you link your Twitch account to that, you get what's called Twitch Prime. So whenever you're viewing anything on Twitch, you don't have to deal with any ads. You get free items for certain games every month, and you get one free subscription per month that you can give to a streamer of your choice.
Except if you have a Amazon student Prime student, they literally give you one. Which is stupid, yeah, but anyways.
Just one subscription, that's right. Unless it's student. But yeah, so I mean, it has some pretty nice services, but I think definitely one of the biggest things about it that most people enjoy was the ad-free portion of it. Because we're in the day and age where people just hate advertisements in any way, shape, or form. They take us away from what we want to enjoy and are generally a nuisance.
Yeah.
But it seems that Amazon and Twitch have realized that, I don't know, they can make more money off this than they are. So
that's what I think
it's kind of the gist of it. Yeah. So basically they made it so now Twitch Prime users no longer get an ad-free experience while viewing things on Twitch, unless it's to somebody they're subscribed to, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, right, I mean, I feel like... when this first came out, it was essentially to replace Twitch Turbo, which was, you know, like $10 a month. You get ad-free viewing everywhere and like a cool badge and some emotes. And it's since evolved into more than that. And then they feel like they're like, you're getting too much now, essentially, I guess. And, you know, they make a lot of money. Like advertising, you know, is probably one of their like main sources of income. I don't think like subscribers and stuff are that much.
Yeah,
which it's probably, you know, it's one of them's, it's either one or two. So and I feel like, you know, now that they give you a lot more stuff than just free advertising and or free or ad-free viewing, they give you, you know, some loot and everything. They're like, okay, like this is fair. But now when, you know, now they're giving like actual free games in general, a lot more loot, some like exclusive stuff. Like, all right, like we're giving you guys a bunch of free stuff now. We're gonna take away the ad free viewing because this makes up for us giving you all this free stuff makes up for that free viewing, which I don't.
Except
I don't
that
think
I
that.
feel it doesn't. Yeah.
No. I like. Well, I was just talking before stream. I always claim all this free loot and free like games from Twitch, but I've literally never played a single free game I've got. Like, if it's like a loot box for like Overwatch or Heroes of the Storm, like I'll take those because I played those games. But other than that, like I don't want to play a game on the Twitch launcher. It's super inconvenient. And like I can't play with any of my friends because I don't know who else uses a Twitch launcher, like how to connect things. So it's just really inconvenient. But I definitely don't think it's a replacement. Like the free stuff is a replacement for ad-free viewing. You could still get ad-free viewing though with Twitch Turbo, which I think is important because if they didn't have that, then you can't get ad-free at all. And I hate ads.
Yeah.
And another thing is I don't think ad blocker works anymore for free ads on Twitch because there's been times where like I actually got an ad for whatever reason, even though I have Prime. And I'm using ad blocker and uBlock Origin, so I saw an ad. But honestly, yeah, if it's that bad, I don't know.
Yeah,
might be rough.
Yeah, that sucks. I don't know. This isn't something like I guess new amongst companies. Like Hulu has like 3 tiers of subscription, and only one of them actually like gets rid of ads. So this isn't anything new. And to give it some context, the Twitch Prime is free as long as you have Amazon Prime. The Twitch Turbo, which is now the real anti-ad, no ads platform program, whatever. That costs $8.99 a month. So, that adds up pretty quick just to not have ads. I mean, it has other features too, but really people would probably getting it to not have ads.
Yeah, pretty much. The only thing I could see that like justifies this is that I think they said it a little bit, but just in like fancier words is, if you watch a streamer, like let's just use Moon, like if you watch Moon, like every time he streams, like every day, obviously seeing ads would be annoying, and so you could subscribe directly to Moon to get rid of ads. You're supporting him and not getting ads. So that's the only like thing where I could see like that's good is might promote people like regulars or whatever to subscribe to someone to get ad-free viewing to watch them. But I mean,
that is true. It's like a weird like way of strong arming people into supporting content creators, which pretty is much cool.
Yeah, but then nowadays though, I also feel like some streamers, are kind of outsourcing like things like subscribing, where like they'll make their own website or have it through somewhere else. Because like I have a streamer that I like, and I don't sub through Twitch. I go through his website. Everything goes straight to him. Twitch doesn't take a cut, and he even has his own chat and everything, and like he has his own emotes, and just like Twitch, and it's so if I subscribe on there, but then I'm watching him on Twitch, like it's embedded in his website, so now I have to I have ads, but I'm still supporting him, so I don't know.
Interesting. Huh. So yeah, I haven't heard much about this. Like, I mean, I haven't really been going out of my way to like look to see how people are reacting, but
I mean,
I honestly haven't heard too much like negative or positive about this.
Yeah, because I think kind of goes back to, you get that one free Twitch Prime sub a month, so if whoever you really like and really watches, use it on them, not to get ads. So
yeah, that's true. I guess we'll really find out because once it actually ends on October 15th is when Prime members will no longer have their ad-free viewing. Yeah. So I guess that's when we'll really know how people feel about it. Moving on. Next thing on our list, Blizzard has I guess in a way been forced to remove paid loot boxes from their games, notably Heroes of the Storm and Overwatch for the people living in Belgium. This goes back to I guess not necessarily a law, but just like a decision that the Belgium's Gambling Commission ruled on back in April, that basically loot boxes in Overwatch don't comply with their regulations, and essentially basically they deemed it gambling, and because Overwatch is a game that minors have access to, it's gambling to minors, therefore it's illegal. I'm sure Blizzard tried to fight against that.
Oh, yeah.
It's loot boxes is every company that has loot boxes in their game, it is their ultimate premium moneymaker. Like, more than anything else, loot boxes are what bring in the most money. So I'm sure they tried to fight as much as they could to try and get them to change their mind, but Belgium wasn't having it, and so Blizzard had no choice but to get rid of them. So what this means is now, if you are playing in Belgium, if you go to the store or the shop to buy loot boxes, I guess there's just nothing there. The only way you can get a loot box now is the traditional way, which is just leveling up. Leveling up and doing like certain in-game things gets you loot boxes, and now that is the only way people in Belgium can get it. I guess you could like still use a VPN or something,
maybe,
and get around it. Maybe
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I guess that's illegal though. Like, I don't know.
I mean, I don't know, but it'd be up to like the internet service provider to enforce that, and like it's probably a waste of their time, honestly.
Yeah, that's true.
I wonder if so Blizzard's a public company, so I wonder if you could see somehow like how much they spent on like lawyer fees and stuff, like because I'm really curious, because I bet you they spent a lot of money to fight this, because like, sure, it's just one country, but if like Belgium does this, like maybe some the neighbor countries are gonna like, oh yeah, like I think Belgium's right, and so then they maybe enforce it, and it's kind of like this domino effect, and like I'm sure that Blizzard would lose a lot of money if more than one country. Like Belgium's probably like, you don't make too much, it's a smaller country, but if like, I don't know, like France or Germany or like someone near them.
Yeah, this could, like you said, just become a domino effect. I think honestly, this is kind of the tipping of the first domino, so to speak, because really, we covered it a long while back, but all this loot box controversy really came about because of EA's decisions on Battlefront 2. Yeah. Which was like ridiculously bad in that game, and that was the game that got governments to really, like, governments all over the world to take notice and be like, maybe loot boxes aren't okay. And because of that, I feel Battlefront 2 happening the way it did, I feel, is the reason that Belgium is doing this.
Yeah, definitely.
And there's still, like, even now, it's definitely settled down a lot, but there's still a lot of discussions happening about, like, are loot boxes gambling, and should they be allowed in video games that are marketed towards children and stuff. So, like you said, I think this is just the beginning, and I would not be surprised if at least a few more countries started banning loot boxes from their video games.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it was CS:GO that sparked this. Because of like the actual gambling online with the skins and stuff, more so than Battlefront.
True. Yeah, that's true. Cause
I just thought about
tons of gambling controversies for a long time now.
Yeah, but I wonder, like I said before, I don't know how like many players are in Belgium, for Overwatch, especially Heroes of the Storm.
A whole lot.
Yeah. So I don't know like how much of an impact this will actually have on them, but I think the domino other countries seeing is like the bigger part of it.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Moving on to our next thing, another Blizzard topic. They've recently released their newest World of Warcraft expansion, Battle for Azeroth. And they just made a statement that it is the fastest selling expansion they have ever made. It sold 3.4 million copies day one. So yeah, I mean, if people think WoW is dying, I guess you are sorely mistaken. Yeah. Blizzard's still got it. You know, they really are dominating the MMO scene. Justly so. I mean, it's a great game.
Yeah.
I feel like there was something I was going to say about this.
I mean, Blizzard said that it makes it one of the fastest selling PC games to date, but
oh wow,
I don't know about that. They compared to like Diablo 3, which sold more than this.
But Diablo 3 had like the ton of, you know, the 12-year hype behind it.
Exactly. That's true.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you know, World of Warcraft is still a great game, and I feel like this shows that there's still a market for MMOs. I mean, I guess that's why every so often we see another company announce like, hey, we're making an MMO.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the people want MMOs. It's like we've said time and time and again, every player is going to go through, why should I play this over World of Warcraft? Yeah. And most of the time that debate ends up in World of Warcraft's favor.
Yep.
Because they do it right. I don't know what it is. I would be curious though. They haven't made us release any information on this yet, but the concurrent players right now.
Yeah.
Because I know there was a huge surge with Legion, and I think it ended up floating around 10 million for a majority of the expansion.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
And so with this one, it's probably still growing.
Yeah, I'm sure, and like I feel like 10 million concurrent, like that's like how much is like Fortnite concurrent? You know, like I feel like this is way more. Or like what's PUBG? You know, like I feel like PUBG's only like a couple 100,000. You know.
Maybe. Well, I mean, you know, I could check Steam stats right now. I think even though it's on the low end of things, I think PUBG still rakes in probably 1 million players a day. But like, yeah, right now peak today was 1.1 million players, which is still, you know, like compared to World of Warcraft, that's like essentially saying, you know, PUBG they can get 1 million players a day, you know. WoW has 10 million a day. That's not like, you know, not exactly how it works, but that kind of
here it says like this was like July. It says 3.4 million players were concurrent for Fortnite, so you know a lot more than PUBG. But I don't know, it still doesn't match up to Nintendo or WoW. Which it's also something interesting about the like media influence on games. Like, you know, WoW has like, you know, 3 times more players than Fortnite, but Fortnite is still like quote unquote the most popular game, you know, right now.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. It's a good point.
Weird to think about.
I think it's. I'm trying to figure out how this works because you're right. Like, because if that were really the case, then everyone would be talking about
like
World of Warcraft.
Yeah, Fortnite just a hot buzz.
Yeah. I think it's just because like, yeah, it could be that. I think it's also just a mix of like in Legion, World of Warcraft had 10 million players. That doesn't mean necessarily that they were all active.
Oh, I thought you were talking about concurrent.
It's just they had.
Oh
no, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Like they had 10 million.
I thought
accounts subscribed. I
see.
guess.
I see. Oh, okay. Okay, that's different.
Yeah.
But it's still a lot. Like
it is
Fortnite's
still
free.
Quite a lot, you know. You imagine each one of those people paying Fortnite's, 15 a month.
Yeah, that is.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, I thought you were about concurrent because I was like, like 10 million concurrent, like that's insane. Like, you know, okay, I see. But I'm sure it's still like it's still up there.
I bet you around like, you know, the like initial week or so of each expansion, it is like actually 10 million concurrent.
Here, let's just do a quick Google search and see what it is.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like Legion was a very solid expansion for World of Warcraft. Like, a lot of people thought Warlords of Draenor and Mists of Pandaria and even Cataclysm before that were all kind of weak expansions, you know? A lot of people thought, like, I agree. I thought so as well. And so a lot of people thought, like, oh, maybe, you know, maybe the MMO is finally starting to die out. But then, you know, Blizzard slapped back with Legion and, like, just brought all their players back. And now coming from that into Battle for Azeroth, which is apparently just as good, if not better, of an expansion. So they're bringing everybody back, reeling them all back in, all those players who thought they were done.
Oh yeah,
got WoW Classic on the way.
But I think if they do keep this like good expansions like every couple of years, they'll like everyone will just stay. Like I don't know, I could see people like leaving during some of the bad expansions. There's like, I don't want to play this, and you know, like until they fix it or whatever. So it'd be, if they keep this up, I'm sure it'd be good. But just a quick go back to the concurrent. So looks like people are saying like on average it's 4 to 5 million concurrent, but then like, you know, when a couple months before X-Pack, it's like up to 7 to 8 million. So it pretty much doubles before the, you know, for the X-Pack expansion. But I mean, still 4 to 5 is still an insane amount of concurrent players to have.
That is quite a lot. It's pretty awesome though.
Thriving.
That, you know. Yeah, I mean, World of Warcraft is like 14 years old now, I think.
Yeah, that's my next thing.
Very impressive.
When will the current WoW be considered like outdated? Like, will they ever update it or come out with a, you know, whole new, you know, thing? So I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder how long they can keep this going for. Because I mean, as we're seeing, it's showing no signs of stopping. Yeah, like so anytime soon. I think they'll be forced to update like the engine, or you know, I think mainly that's like engine limitations, and especially looks like, man, they're doing all they can to make sure everything still looks good on this like really bad like engine. So yeah, well, I mean, a couple expansions ago they did do a kind of a graphical revamp. I remember. I don't know, like, you know, I don't know what expansion that was, but they could probably be due for another one.
Yeah, but, I mean, I wonder what like a graphical revamp is, because like if you go back to some of the older, you know, like zones and stuff, like it does like look like pretty bad. Yeah, compared to
it looks like
rough. Even like Mists of Pandaria looks pretty good, and obviously Legion and stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah, you know, honestly, like at this point, I worry more that they're gonna run out of like lore and story, you know, before they like run out of players. But I'm sure they've got people figuring that out.
Yeah, they'd have to like make a whole new. Yeah, like what would they even do if they ran out? Just like make a new.
They'll figure something out. They'll find some new big bad.
Yeah, I play that. I play Diablo.
That would be kind of cool. Definitely.
Yeah, right.
Just make all MMOs, honestly. I'll play them all. All right. Next thing on our list, For Honor, the Starter Edition is free to you forever if you download it by August 27th.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're listening to this now, it's too late.
14 minutes.
So, sorry. But... Well, I mean,
I know.
This won't be until Wednesday, so we have 14 minutes to get it. You guys are SOL. But so For Honor is Ubisoft's kind of like a strategic medieval fighting game. Kind of like, honestly, when you think about it, almost a glorified rock paper scissors. Pretty much, actually, with more depth, I guess. But it was a very fun game that suffered from a lack of attention from the developers. It was a good game that had a lot of fairly serious issues, the most notable being some server stuff. that the devs, for whatever reason, just took their sweet time on getting around to addressing and fixing. Like, I mean, like months of time. And so most of the player base, like, just died out and gave up, because
typical
the game wasn't
Ubisoft,
getting any attention.
Like, really, like, I mean,
yeah, honestly, it's nothing new. Yeah, which is unfortunate, but that is a very accurate statement to make. But they have since cleaned up those issues, and now with this free forever or free week / free forever thing, they drew in 225,000 concurrent players throughout this week. And let's see, if I check right now, For Honor is currently at 31,000 players playing in this very moment, and 66,000 at its peak today. So it has dropped off, but
it's Monday.
Compared to, it was probably honestly only getting like 1,000 before. And it is also Monday night, so people are getting ready for work and school. But yeah, I mean, they kind of brought their game back to life, which is nice.
Yeah,
that's always a good sign.
Hopefully it was. I went to go. I was like, oh, might as well download a free game. Then I looked, it was like 57 gigs. I was like, yeah, I'll pass on this one. But I wasn't that. But I mean, I guess it's a like pretty like graphically intense game and stuff. So expected, I guess. But I mean, like, but I mean, like even like GTA was like 60 something gigabytes. Like, I don't know. I feel like some of these other games have a lot more in it.
I feel like that's way bigger of a game.
But anyway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird how
I was never really a big fan of For Honor. I'm not a big fan of fighting games. I played in, like, closed alpha, like, beta, open beta, and I just, I don't know. It's not my kind of game. I feel like they simplified it, like, way too much for, like, I don't know. It's a different kind of, like, fighting game. But yeah, it's not like a straight up fighting. It's like third
game,
person. Third person.
It has elements of it.
It's more like reactive, I guess, and I don't know, but it's different. But yeah, I'm just not a big fan of it. So I mean, I didn't really care too much for it.
Yeah,
and I guess that's really why it didn't motivate me to download to get it for free either.
Yeah, no, that's true. All right, next up, GOG, which is the company that is owned by CD Projekt Red. It's GOG is like their Steam. They have launched Thank you. Yeah, that's what it's called. They have launched their FCK DRM initiative. I will let you figure out what that means. So basically, what DRM is, DRM stands for Digital Rights Management, and it's essentially, without getting super technical on it, to put it in the simplest way possible, it's a way that, say, any game on Steam you own, because of DRM, you don't really own it. It lets the company/companies and publishers, whatever, they can take your information, they can just decide to flip a kill switch and you suddenly don't have access to the game anymore. It has all sorts of not so fun elements to it. And, understandably, it sucks because there is a lot of games, and we mentioned it earlier, but SimCity was a game that suffered from some pretty bad DRM-y type stuff, like forcing you to be online and on an account when there was no need for it. It's a single player game. It has no sort of multiplayer aspect to it, and yet people could not play it because you needed to be online. And then funny enough, or ironically enough, EA's servers blew up when it came out, so nobody could play their game that didn't need to be online in the first place. So that's like one of just many of the dumb issues around DRM. And thankfully, we're finally seeing a company take a stand to that stuff. And with this initiative, essentially, any game that you purchase through the GOG platform is actually yours to own. You can access it anytime, whenever, forever, like all Even if GOG implodes one day down the line, I think you would still have access to it because you actually have the files and everything you need to run the game, versus like Steam. Like, we all love Steam, it's great, but if Steam servers blew up tomorrow, I don't really think we could access our games. I mean,
to an extent,
so it's to an extent. Yeah,
I'm not sure how it kind of works.
Yeah, DRM is a very expansive and somewhat complicated thing, but overall, it's really not necessary and not great. So it's nice that CD Projekt Red is doing this. They're once again showing that they're just kind of really cool dudes, and they have it out for us, or not have it out for us, but they have our backs. Us being just the public, the consumers, the gamers. They want what's best for people like us, and so they do cool things like this.
We just kind of to kind of clarify, would like streaming be like not DRM? Like, that's like, you pretty much you pay but you still don't own it, or is that something completely different? Like Netflix or Spotify? Do you know? Like, I don't know. Just out of curiosity.
I think that's different, only because so to give an example of that, I guess would be like Origins. I forget what it was called. Origin Access or whatever thing. Like, that was a thing that you paid for a system and you got to play any of these games on the list. That's kind of more like the Netflix route. Different. If Netflix was like, if Netflix was like free to download, but you had to pay for any movie and then you could watch it anytime, then it would be more this DRM thing. So it's a little, the streaming thing is a bit different. It still, I guess, would fall under the thing of like, if Netflix's servers exploded, nobody could watch any of those movies anymore. But it wouldn't be as big of a slap to the face because I didn't pay for each and every single one of those movies. Like, I've spent like thousands and thousands of dollars on Steam buying all these games. And so if I were to wake up one day and suddenly not be able to access any of them, I'd be pretty pissed off.
I was just thinking like Humble Bundle seems like, I was just thinking like, they're definitely DRM free. But if you think about it, if everything's redeemed through Steam, like, I never even... there's not much.
It's a strange thing, and I'm looking at this website. If you want to go to the website, we'll have it in the description, but it's called fckdrm.com. And they have a lot of quotes from all sorts of influential people in the industry. And funny enough, they have one from Gabe Newell. It's like, how can you talk crap on DRM when you're totally utilizing it, too. Man? How does that work?
It's funny.
But at the end of the day, DRM is just about letting the consumers actually own the products that they purchase. That's what DRM is against, I guess. So, good on GOG. And, on top of everything else that's really cool about this, it also sparks some nice competition that I feel is much needed against Steam. I would love, again, I don't know if CD Projekt Red is a public company or anything, but I would love to see the fluctuation in users for GOG after making this announcement, like if it changed at all, It'd be cool to see if this did really draw people away. Honestly, I might actually start buying like certain games on GOG. Just because, I will always actually own those games, and that's a really nice incentive. So just to
because I was just thinking of this. So if you're thinking like, why doesn't Steam just implement this? Like, why don't they make everything DRM free? It's because it makes you reliant on their service. So it's like you have to go to Steam, to play the game. Then you so you open up Steam, then oh no, all of a sudden you're looking at the store page, and it's more of like an interaction thing and using their service. So it's like, if they take it away, then you don't have to go to Steam to launch your game, or you don't have to go to, I guess you technically still don't, you got to make an icon, but it's like Steam's implemented into everything, so it's like your in-game overlay. You could be your friends and blah blah blah. So I don't know, but then it also. I'm just thinking like I guess the community with like the workshop and everything, that is like a definite advantage of having that with Steam. So like, I don't know if they could do that, if they take the DRM thing. So I don't know. I guess different things.
Well, there's definitely, I don't like necessarily know of one off the top of my head, but there's definitely been some very specific cases I've seen on Reddit where like a guy's gotten his Steam account hacked and things like that, and he would contact Valve and they'd be like, well, we can't really prove that you're the owner of all this stuff, so you're you're screwed, stuff like that. Things like that wouldn't happen with a DRM free system like QG.
That is true.
So things like that are rare, but it does happen. It sucks. You can just lose everything in a heartbeat.
God.
Yeah. I did the there's a website that's like a Steam calculator. I did that the other day. I've spent oh my god, dude. I've spent $4,200
oh god
on Steam. That's probably not including like in-game purchases and stuff.
But okay, make you feel better.
Oh, man.
It's like you got some games on sale, you can find everything, full price, so
true. Yeah, see, I wonder, does it count like the fact that I don't know if it's counting that I bought some of these games on sale. Even still, it'd probably still be like high $3,000. I don't even know.
I have to like I just typed in to see, but apparently I have to like change some settings. I'll look later, but honestly, I don't even really want to know. Yeah,
it's a little soul crushing to find out that I've blown that much money on it. Oh man. Well, all right, that covers it up for our news. We're gonna move into our closing segment, This Day in Games, where we are going to find something that happened.
This week.
It's This Week in Games now. Forgive me. This Week in Games. We find something that happened in the previous week, and we tell you about it. It's always video game related, obviously. So let me pull up my document that I lost. Oh, here we go. On this day in games, August 27th, 1992, Super Mario Kart came out in Japan for the SNES, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. It's Mario Kart. I'm sure everybody has played it. It's Nintendo's iconic racing game. It is one of like the go-to party games, I feel like, when you've got friends over. If you've got friends who don't really play video games, I feel like Mario Kart is one you can confidently put into your system and everybody will have a good time. They still pump these games out. They're still always great. It's Mario Kart. It's Nintendo. And it happened today.
All right. This Week in Games, August 25th, 2000, Age of Empires 2 Conquers came out. Now, this is the first expansion for the fourth installment for the Age of Empire 2. Their first expansion. We're just looking it up.
It added like three new factions for you to be able to play.
Let's see. I have the Wikipedia up. 5 new civilizations, 26 new technologies, 11 new units. Dang. Yeah, some gameplay was. Yeah, it added quite a lot. What we were just looking at, I thought it was interesting that this game, came out in 2000 and it still sold 221,000 units by October of that year. So only a couple months later, which is, I feel like it's pretty impressive considering how small the gaming market was back then, and especially how small like the PC market and specifically was in 2000. And then it says like, August 2006 it sold 800,000, so like quadrupled its sales. I guess it just also just shows how good of a game this was and how much of an impact it made. It's still one of my favorite RTSs. I love to play it. So
yeah, it's a great game. It is funny. I mean, feel it also goes to show that RTS games were really like the king back in the day. You know, this and StarCraft. You know, people loved RTSs, and for a good reason. You know, they're pretty awesome games to play. All right. I think that wraps us up. A bit of a shorter episode this week, but you know, we did state that might be the case. Gamescom had happened in the previous week, but there wasn't really a lot of new things to talk about. It was a lot of, you know, more gameplay footage or a new trailer. And while we do like to talk about that stuff sometimes, it gets a little old if we're having to, like, you know, we have 20 topics of like, there's gameplay for this game.
And it's like all speculation too.
So yeah. So, you know, that didn't really interest us too much. So we decided to skip out on it. However, something that happened this morning, there was a 48-minute long gameplay reveal for Cyberpunk 2077. And we do have a special episode planned for that. It's probably going to come out sometime this week or maybe sometime next week. It's not going to take over our regular episode. We still plan to record and have our regular episode out on Wednesday as always, but we might have a little special short episode just about Cyberpunk somewhere in there as well. So look forward to all of that. Outside of that, you can catch us in all the usual places. Our main things being Google Play. Sure. Is that what it's called? Google Play and and the podcast app. But yeah, thanks for listening in, and we will see you next week.